I went to see Stranger Things The First Shadow, a play that has just premiered on the West End, and I have to put this out there, this play isn't for everyone and I'm sure that not everyone is going to like it. But if you are a fan of Stranger Things, then you are in for a treat, and I'm gonna tell you everything that I know about the play from what I've seen without spoilers. So buckle up, because we're going on a ride. First things first, how has Stranger Things The First Shadow come about? Well, this play has been in the making for 6 years, and it all started in 2017 when a Tony Award director, Stephen Daldry, approached Duffer Brothers and asked if he could put Stranger Things on stage, but he didn't want to interfere with the series, he wanted to make an original story. And Duffer Brothers were thrilled about it, and they said, okay, we're gonna lend you one of our key writers, Kate, to write with you and develop the script. And that's how it all happened. So why I'm saying all of this is because this is fully Duffer Brothers approved, and the team behind Stranger Things is fully on board with this, including Netflix. So ahead of the season 5, this means that these guys know something that we don't, and they pour that knowledge into this play as well. So the next big question is, what is the play about? And I'm gonna keep it at very top level so I don't spoil anything for you, but this is the origin story of Henry Creel, aka Vecna. The play is set in 1959 Hawkins when the Creel family moves to Hawkins following a tragic incident that happened. And I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm not gonna give you any more details about the actual plot and what happens, but it is really great to see some of our favorite characters being in high school, such as Joyce, the Wheelers, Bob, Hopper. Basically all of the parents of the kids in Stranger Things are in high school, and you see their interactions and how they became to be who they are. And the final question that I want to answer for you before I get into my impressions of the show is, why is this important for season 5, and how come we might see some hints about what's to come in season 5 from The First Shadow? Well, it is a villain origin story. We get to understand how Henry Creel became Vecna, who are the people who impacted that, and basically we just understand his life a little bit better. And we know that what's about to happen in season 5 is all about saving Hawkins and overcoming that evil, and in order to overcome it, we actually need to understand how he's become who he is, and that is what the play is about. Now let's get into my impressions. I am not exaggerating when I say to you that within the first 15 to 20 minutes of the show, I knew that this is going to be the best show that I've seen in 2023, and that is the case. Basically, if all the shows that I've seen are here, Stranger Things The First Shadow is here. And these are my 5 reasons why I love this show so much. Firstly, the production of the show is something like you have never seen. There are some effects that I've never seen on stage, and I'm sure that this show will set standard for future productions in certain ways because of the solutions that they've incorporated on stage. Genuinely, sometimes I was wondering, am I imagining things? How have they managed to pull that? There are people disappearing, people are levitating, and I was so impressed by the way that they delivered it, because there was never a friction or something that you could actually notice that they're trying to do. Everything was like so smooth and seamless. And the last time that I imagine being this blown away by the production is when I went to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, especially because we're dealing with magic in Harry Potter case, and then, you know, these dark creatures and the upside down and everything that happens in Stranger Things. So that is probably that connection, but this just means that these plays really needed to make it believable, because the fans won't buy it if it isn't good. And Stranger Things The First Shadow really matched that and exceeded my expectations. The second thing that I loved is the story, and I genuinely think that Stranger Things The First Shadow managed to actually add a storyline that makes sense and is giving something new to the fans, something to think about, something that adds value to your viewing experience in general. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a show that's been made just for the sake of making Stranger Things show. It really feels like it was a story that needed to be told. It feels important. It feels like it's a story in its own right. And I love that. I think that there are some really clever ways in which big characters such as Joyce and Hopper and Bob have been brought together, and extra context context that was given around them. But obviously the biggest storyline is Vecna's, and how all of that kind of brings us to the moment that we're in now, as well as Papa. I think it was also an interesting story and origin story to see in the play. So I think that all of these really big characters, now in my head, I have like an extra understanding of who they are and how they've become to, you know, be who they are today. I mean, in the storyline of the show. The cast of the play is absolutely unbelievable, but I think what even stuck with me more is the way that they use the characters from the series to inform their accents, the way that they move, their mannerisms and things. It is incredible to see, and it is so great, for example, to listen to Joyce's voice on stage and the accent that resembles so much the person in the series. Bob is also a fantastic character in the play, and you can totally see that connection from Bob in high school to Bob in the series, and this is all due to amazing cast, and I was so impressed by seeing how they fully embodied the characters that we all love. A special shout out goes to Louis McCartney, who is Vecna in the play, and I couldn't believe when I read that in the program, but this is his stage debut. And guys, when I say that he is absolutely amazing, I'm not exaggerating. He is so good in his character, and he's giving 150%, especially because this is such a torturous character, and there's a lot of silence and there's a lot of awkward movements, and also sometimes like very loud noises and abrupt reactions and changes in between all these different emotions. He has navigated so well, and he was such a believable young Vecna that I was so impressed by his performance. The fourth reason why I think Stranger Things will find its way to a lot of people is because it is a different, spooky kind of theater. And normally when you go in West End, you expect to see some jazz hands, some musicals, and also plays that are a little bit heavier tend to have a silver lining of some sort. When it comes to this play, it is very dark, it is very chilling. At some points, you do not like what you see on stage, and it is very much, you know, the same vibe that you get in the show. Sci-fi, horror, thriller, weird creatures, and even weirder events. Like, all of that is in the play. And if you like that vibe on the TV, then also you are going to love it in the theater. From that perspective, a lot of people who wouldn't go to the theater because they don't like happy West End, I think they will love this show. And the final reason why I enjoy this production so much is their attention to detail. From the moment you enter into the theater, you see Scoops Ahoy, and you can get some slushes and some hot dogs, pretzels. So the vibe is set from the very beginning. Also, there are some visuals throughout, and they just made you feel like you entered Stranger Things universe as much as they could from the moment you enter. Also, the theater, while you're kind of settling in and waiting for the play to start, is darker, and also you can hear the sounds of interrupted radio frequencies coming out of the speakers, and it just gives you that chilling sensation that you're kind of like, okay, what is about to happen? And also at some point there are the lab people fully clothed in their equipment who are like looking through the rows and just like checking things, lifting things. So there's a little bit of that immersive experience type of thing, and all of this just like adds to that feel of Stranger Things during the play. And personally, I really love this program. Like, I'm a person who only recently started buying like programs for every single play that I go to, and when I bought this one, I enjoyed how much they put detail into explaining things such as the Philadelphia experiment, which, you know, they literally do the breakdown of the conspiracy theory and what happened and how it inspired the show. And that's just one example of how they really use this program to kind of like give you an extra context around how they've come about with all these things and why they matter. With the design and with the shape of it and with the content of it, I love this. Is my favorite program that I've got this year. As you can tell, I'm super excited that I went to see this show, and I'm going to see it again in the new year. That's how much I liked it, and I could not recommend enough for you to go and see it if you're a Stranger Things fan, because this is top level theater about a show that you love, so you won't regret it. However, if this doesn't sound like your cup of tea, there is this video where I've talked about the best shows that I've seen in 2023 and that you can see in 2024, so check that one out.